Okay, great stuff. Good morning then, guys. It's the 28th of November, 2017. It's Tuesday, and this is the premium webinar for the DAX. So we just had a bit of activity happen first thing this morning, and we've had a bit of a whipsaw. We had an ignition up to around about 13.50 this morning, and then immediate tank straight afterwards down to just below 13,000, where we're currently trading right now. So as far as like trading the market is going to be going this morning, we're possibly not going to be doing that unless an obvious opportunity comes up. What we're really going to be looking for is getting ourselves prepared for potential setups and opportunities for the rest of this week, and practicing and honing in on the skills of drawing our lines, swings and forks. Okay. If we get a chance, then we're going to have a look at a couple of other markets as well as the DAX, including the FTSE, other indexes, commodities, and some Forex pairs as well. But the likelihood is this video is going to finish in about half an hour, so we'll have to end it there, and we'll carry on the second half with the premium guys. All right. So before we get started, trading financial markets is risky, involving the risk of losing our invested money. The webinars, educational resources available on the website are for educational purposes only. So no investment advice is provided. If you decide to enter a trade on the back of any information contained from DaxTrader.co.uk, webinars, videos, or articles, then please do so entirely at your own risk. All right. So you may recognize this chart, you may not, but if you do, you'll notice that I've cleaned it up. And it's a good habit to get into for anybody looking at their charts. My typical routine involves going through everything in an evening to prepare myself for the next day. But some days it's actually good to not have that, because you come into the new day with preconceived ideas of what's going to happen. But sometimes it's best to actually just start fresh, blank canvas, clean everything up, get rid of all your previous ideas and just do it again. Start from the beginning, and let's work through it. So we've got three charts here. I've got a daily chart, I've got a 60-minute chart, and I've got a 4-minute chart. Okay. My daily chart is going to be providing me with my major swings. And to be fair, as long as you've got enough data on your chart, in this particular case, I've got about 5 months, 4 months or so. As long as you've got enough data on your chart, it's relatively easy to do this. So you just settle your eyes and look for where the major swings are. Some of them are easier to spot than others. There's one. There's one. There's one. You could argue that those two, maybe even those two, are swings as well. That's around about halfway between those two. So there's your sort of swing, and you'd probably even say that that's one too. Okay. From there, it becomes very easy to start drawing your lines. So you can draw forks, standard pitchforks from 3 major pivots. If you want to, you can snap those to the grid just to make it a little bit cleaner. You can add your quartile lines in there just to give you a little bit of extra, if you like, tool to analyze. From here, you kind of start to look for different patterns, different consolidation zones, little value areas, things like that. So I know that we've marked this area out before as a value area, and it's currently in there right now, which we're trading above 13,000 in, but it's kind of got us boxed in that little area. We're currently below the all-time high, which is up there somewhere. Major swing low down here. Can just tidy those numbers up just to make sure that they're accurate. And then you can start having a look and see if there's any interesting patterns that are available. Now, I pulled my fork from these 3, but you could argue that actually the most recent 3 pivots would be these ones. So is this now still the valid fork? And in my opinion, yes, it is, because what generally tends to happen with Alan Andrews' work, and if you're not familiar with Alan Andrews' work, then I highly recommend you go and study that. This course may well be available online. Bit tricky to understand, but persevere with it because it's got some fantastic insight in there that's still valid even now. Anyway, so the part of the theory is that with a fork like this, you'll often get a reaction to the C point of the fork, and price will often go to test a median line. And it will get a reaction at the median line in one form or another. It will either bounce from it or it will go through it off to the next median line, whichever one that might be. And in this particular case, it kind of followed the patterns really nicely. It zoomed through the quartile line by gapping through it there. It zoomed through the median line with a wide range bar there, switched back the median line, which is another part of Alan Andrews' work, gapped through the second quartile here, came back through, started reacting, and we're kind of on the median line or in that zone right now. So yeah, you'll often get one or two things will happen from here. We'll either continue down to this median line or we'll continue up to this one. I still believe we can move up to here. Many in our group believe that that's not possible and it's heading down here. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. Time will tell who has drawn the correct conclusion, but you can still make money buying or selling on the DAX. Doesn't really matter what you believe is going to happen or what you want to happen. It really doesn't. The market doesn't care what we think. It just does not care. So, just look at what you can see on the chart. Now, what I find interesting if you just draw a simple time tool is that if you draw it from here, bottom of this swing, and draw it there, it kind of gives us a rough indication of where, in terms of market rhythm, that point could be interesting. So I'm just going to mark that one out on the chart up here. And I'm going to delete that because it's busy with it. You know why I've done that. I'll just maybe do a little vertical line there. And what I also find interesting is that if you consider this balance point, if you consider this value area to be a balance point, and then just draw a 50% tool through the middle of that, look where that extension target lies. It's pretty interesting, right? So we've got three areas of confluence here. We've got a 100% extension. We've got an upper median line parallel. And we've got a time extension tool, all pointing to almost exactly the same spot. That looks interesting to me. Now, it doesn't really matter whether or not that happens because, I don't want to be predictive and say that, oh, yeah, we have to hit the market. The market's got to go there because, look, all the tools say so. Tools can be wrong. But that's interesting to me, and I like the look of that. So the major conclusion that I would draw from this, excuse me, the major conclusions that I would draw from this is the following thing. We're bullish above 11,868 on the major swings, but we do have to break 13,535 in order to continue it. And if we do break through 13,535, then I would suspect that we're going to be heading up towards 14,172 or somewhere in that zone. That's it. So just mark that out, save it. And going to jing that thing. If you're not sure what jing is, I recommend it. It's very good. Screen grabbing software, free. Jing, J-I-N-G. Go and Google that if you haven't got it already. All right, let's go and have a look at the second chart. So this is on the 60-minute chart. It's pretty much exactly the same idea. But this isn't going to be the major swings. This is actually going to be the minor swings. We've already got the major swings marked out. We know roughly where price is headed, if you like. So we can start marking out the minor swings in much the same way, little dashes, and look where they are. So where are your swings? So there's one right there. There's one obviously down there, one up there. But you've got others in the middle of them, and they're nice and clearly defined, aren't they? So you've got that one there, 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 and then probably another one in here. So I guess it'll be that one there. Yep. And then interestingly, you've got another lower low there. Sorry, like a lower high, should I say. And then you have this. Now, what's important with swings is that you've got to have the previous low or previous high broken depending on which way you're going down. So with a lower low, we're in a downtrend, you've got to make sure that these lows are broken in order to confirm these highs. So that high is confirmed once that low is broken, which it was. There's a high. But that high is confirmed once that low is broken. That high is confirmed once that low is broken. Now, that high would normally be confirmed once that low is broken. However, it was not, because that didn't break that. It failed. And when this was formed, it confirmed that, well, that's the end of this swing. That swing is dead now, broken. Minor swings, finished. So long as we stay above that, we are going to either be ranging sideways or we're going to be at the start of a new trend higher. Yep. So the first option is trending sideways. Now we'll be trending sideways for as long as we are below that and as long as we're above that. There you go. That's the range defining levels. This really is starting to move a little bit, isn't it? It's not very interesting for me at the moment because it isn't actually doing anything. It's still confined to this sort of triangle, and I'm not interested in that at the moment. Even if that breaks below this, I'm still not going to be interested in looking to short this market. I know a lot of you are, and a lot of you are getting quite excited about it, but I'm not. So I'm just going to watch it for now. If you are trading it, if you got short from 13, I'm sure some of you did short it from 13,204, then great. But yeah, I'm not short. Don't have any position on it at the moment. Okay, let's continue on with these swings here. Let's just remove this for now. Just keep those there. Just get the rest of them marked out. There's one there. And there's one there. All right. So at the moment, we're kind of starting to form the basis of a new bullish trend. It's quite tenuous at the moment because it's more sideways than bullish. But we have a higher low and a higher high. Well, the higher high was the one that broke the previous trend. All right. So providing we stay above, yeah, it depends which one you want to go for, I guess, but I'd probably go with that one. If we stay above 905, the trend can continue. With a 20-point tank like we've just seen there, looks like it's on its way to test that. 858 looks to be the line in the sand for this particular new one. And if it takes them all out, doesn't really go anywhere, then it's just an opportunity to either stay out of the market or look for an opportunity to sell, because if it does continue this downtrend and break through these lows, then it's pretty significant. Pretty significant. So we'll look at the setups in a moment. Just had a message saying, why are you not shorting this? Well, it's pretty clear, really. I'm kind of doing a webinar and I don't want to be distracted. But two, I don't want to react to something that's happening quite quickly like this, because there's just no need to get excited about a 40 or 50-point move. There really isn't. If you weren't already short from up here, it's a bit late just kind of getting in short this now, I think. So that's why. So for me, it's better to watch rather than get emotionally involved to a trade because it's moving quickly. Okay, so same idea as we did before. You can draw forks from these lines. You can draw forks from these swings and pivots. This one here. And you'll notice that this one's quite valid at the moment because this upper median line parallel has been holding it. Price has tested it a few times and it's been rejected ever since. That is quite a significant press. Now, I'm kind of in two minds with this one. I don't want to get too technical as far as the Alan Andrews work goes, but I'm kind of looking at an ACR opportunity with this push line, but I'm not going to go into too much detail just for now on that. I'll talk about that later, maybe. But that's the bearish fork based on those three swings, and the bullish fork is on the other side, which would actually be from this one, and this one. But I don't think that's particularly valid simply because this swing low hasn't really been confirmed because it didn't take out that high. So I'm not sure whether or not that's valid. So I'll just grey that out for the moment. But this one is. This one is valid. And at the moment, it's capturing price quite well. The A-line's quite clean. It's had a couple of touches on both sides. Quartile lines are interesting as well. The upper median line parallel seems to be restricting price from going any higher. So it's a relatively valid fork. So it's in a bit of an interesting spot at the moment. Yes, I would like to be a buyer on the DAX at some point because I believe that there's opportunity for it. I believe there's headroom above. But I'm not scared to short the market. No problem at all. But I think if we were going to short the market, it would have been yesterday from any one of these tags of this upper median line parallel. I'm not always very active on a Monday. So I chose to not do that. Okay. So that gives you the idea. They're the minor swings. And again, it just helps you sort of get your eyes calibrated to what's going on with the market. So you can prepare yourself for opportunities to get into a trade in one direction or another, depending on what the facts are telling you. Do that on every single market, and it's always good to practice them, because if you stick to this basic rule of swing, you're not actually worrying about your own personal opinions and biases. You're just looking at what the market is doing. The trend is in a trend until it's not. Follow the trend. Don't go against it. If you're counter trend trading, you're trying to call tops and bottoms. Yeah, you can get lucky every now and then, but more often than not, you're going to be trading stressfully most days. I'm sure you can relate to that. Trading is stressful enough as it is. Don't add more stress to it by trying to counter trend trade. And I guess that's my opinion. All right, so that's your minor swings on the 60-minute. You can do the same sort of thing on a 4-minute chart, but this would kind of be bar level price action. So you'd be really looking for specific interesting things. So this is the same chart that we've just seen on 60-minute. So it's just copied everything onto it. But on this particular one, I guess you'd be interested in just marking out zones and areas that are interesting. So for me, that's been pointed out in the group before, because on a higher time frame chart, that looks like a tail swap. And it gives a signal for lower price action, which is why a lot of people in the group have decided to short. But I guess the most significant thing for me, which is mainly the reason why I don't want to be trading this, is that it's not trending as much as I would like it to. So you've got a high there, highs here, another one there, another one there, another one there. Just pressing and pressing and pressing, pushing it down, which is great if we were making lower lows, but we're not. It's doing the same thing. In fact, that's probably the only significant thing I've seen, is that we've started to test one of these lows, but we were starting to form higher lows and lower highs. That's not a nice opportunity to trade, because you're looking at a 50-50 reaction there, and it's going to break one way or another, and you're flipping a coin. So I don't really want to be involved in that. You can get involved in a 50-50 trade as long as your reward to risk ratio is good and you stick to the plan once the trade is active. What do I mean by that? So if it was 50-50 and it was going to burst in one direction and it hits your stop loss, then that's fine. You're out. But if it goes in direction of your trade, continues to move with momentum, hits your profit target, then you've hit 3 times what you lost on the losing trade. So I know that sounds like it's a very, very basic piece of statistics and probability, but it kind of is that basic. Now, the trade might get choppy and stop you out either way. It doesn't really matter, and that's fair enough. But the point I'm trying to make here is that it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. It matters whether you're making money. And if you've got a good reward to risk ratio, good money management, you can afford to take the losers on the chin, because your winners will earn you more. So it's a bit odd at the moment. This market is really, really not very fun. We had a fantastic couple of weeks. We've earned a lot of points over the last couple of weeks. You can go and see the results yourself on the website. You probably know where it is already. Just kind of look at the About DaxTrader page on the DaxTrader.co.uk website and scroll down the page about halfway, and there's a spreadsheet embedded in the page there, and it's got the results for the last 2 months. So yeah, we've done well, but at the moment, this isn't a very exciting setup for me. It just looks like a coil. It looks to me like a value area, compression, and we're at the decision point. I've drawn this out many a time, so I know this is not particularly interesting for you guys, that you may have already heard this 18,000 times, but you get 3 different parts of a market, don't you? You get, if that's an impulse leg, a move, price discovery mode, which would be like one of these. And then you've got the consolidation phase, which is value area. And price reacts in one way or another. It's going to break into price discovery mode again. Doesn't really matter which way it goes. It's going to go into price discovery, and it will go and find another value area. And then the bit that I'm drawing at the moment, that is this area here. That's what this is. So we're currently in that value area, and we're reaching the decision point. The decision point previously in this value area was there. That was the point of ignition. Decided which way it wanted to go, higher. Another value area up here. There was the decision point. Which way did it go? Lower. Found a value area again, and we're going to have a decision point again. I don't really want to guess which way it goes. I'd rather just wait until it's in that zone, wait till it's in the price discovery mode, wait till the minor swings are confirming that we have a new trend, and then we'll trade in that direction. But while it's in the middle of this is range trading territory. And this is how to get your head chopped off as a trader. Because you think, breakout, brilliant, let's trade in that direction. Oh, whipsaw, gone the other way. Let's go that direction. Oh, whipsaw, gone the other way. And without realizing it, you've got 4 or 5 trades under your belt and they've all lost. So it's not the best conditions to trade. Wait for price discovery. Wait to get into a move that's nice, clean trending like that. You want one of them, not one of these. But good luck to you guys, because I know some of you are making some money on this. And I know some of you have made some money range trading it. Yeah, congratulations. It's tricky conditions. So you'll notice that there aren't many indicators on the chart. And when you're looking at the swings, you don't need indicators. You can use your eyes. So that's the reason why there aren't any indicators. Just had a message. Yes, I do use VWAP. That is an indicator. It's very true. It's not on this particular chart, but I do use it. I also occasionally use RSI, because when I first started trading, however many years ago, that was the one indicator that I built my strategies around. And it worked very well. But I don't really use them very often. All right, guys. So that is the DAX. So let's kind of look at sort of outlook for today. But I think I've pretty much covered it. At the moment, we're stuck in this value area. We're ranging sideways in this value area. We are stuck between those 2 levels. They're not there. We're stuck between, I'd say it was those 2 levels. So I'm going to get rid of that one there. 905 and 213. We're stuck in that range. We need to break one of those levels. If I had to pick one way or the other, it's very, very difficult to argue with the selling pressure of this fork at the moment. So if I had a gun to my head and I had to pick one way or the other, I'd reluctantly probably concede that the bears are winning at the moment. But I still wouldn't be selling it, because I don't like the idea of traps at the moment. Don't like the idea of traps. But yeah, it's pretty clear to see that they're in control, I guess, isn't it, at the moment? Which sucks for me, because I like to buy. Excuse me. Okay. All right, so that is pretty much what I wanted to run through on the DAX. So as far as price action is concerned today, I think we need to wait for confirmation of one of those levels being broken and try and avoid getting chopped up. I would say that if we're going to stay in this range, then buy low, sell high. It's probably not as high as these levels. You could probably draw the range a little bit tighter in and around price action that we've seen. If you were bearish, you could be selling this upper median line parallel. And if you were bullish, run and hide. No, I'm joking. But it can be a little bit tricky. All right, so I've only got a few sort of 10 minutes or so left on this webinar for this morning. So we were talking about having a look at a couple of ideas with drawing the swings and the pitch forks. So appreciate that we all want to have a look at trading the DAX for today, but I think that's kind of where I am at, as my opinion is concerned. It isn't really particularly fun to trade at the moment. Still stuck in the middle of a range, kind of going sideways at the middle of a decision point within a value area. We are ranging within that value area. We need to get back into price discovery mode before it becomes interesting. Confirm a trend is still in place on these minor swings before I'm really interested to take a swing trade. Intraday trading is concerned, or very short-term trading, I'm not really interested. Not really interested at all. So we'd probably switch to a range trading default method of trading. All right, so that is that. If we're going to have a look at a couple of other charts, we can probably go and take a look at some of the other indices. I'm not really that bothered about the American ones, so I'm going to have a look at the Nikkei first of all. That was one I wanted to be buying a long time ago. And it's the same idea with the swings. Get on your daily chart, get your major swings in, pull your forks through. You'll notice on this particular one, it's interesting because they're the three most recent swings, although we're probably able soon to start confirming that one. We have worked this one all the way up to the upper median line parallel. So the fork has done its job. It's reached that. It looked like it was going to go off to test the next one, which would have been up there. Didn't quite get there. Formed back inside, starting to consolidate. So again, it's going to get in similar position to the DAX. It's going to get to a decision point where it goes back into value area. Sorry, goes back into price discovery and find a new value area. If it decides to retrace, then we would remove that fork. This new one would be pretty ugly. It's a really odd looking fork. But that would be a retracement back to this median line, which just so happens to coincide with the median line of the previous fork, which is underneath. It's light grey. Can you see that? It's a bit dark. Sorry, a bit difficult to spot, but it would be under there. So there would be the majors. And so that would look interesting for me for a buy spot if it managed to get somewhere there. It'd be a test of this little pocket area here. Could be interesting. Busy chart. Just quickly clear it all up. It's quite satisfying to do that. And then you draw the same sort of idea. Now this one is exactly in the same spot right now as far as consolidating is concerned, because it's actually starting to form higher lows and lower highs. And if anything, just drawing a fork through those little swings here starting to bust down through the low median line parallel. So that may be an interesting one to watch, because we're in this decision point. It's starting to build up some energy to go and decide which direction it now wants to go. Don't just trade a breakout of these moves, because you'll often find these sorts of things happen. So don't get chopped up in that, but just watch it, see which way it goes. Once you get confirmation of a new trend on this particular sort of time frame or setup, then you can maybe look at it for a new value area. If it breaks lower, then we can look for that setup we just discussed on the previous chart. If it breaks higher, then you could look for a touch of this median line. And it just goes on and on like that. Now, that's not so relevant anymore, a sort of North Korean narrative, but this market was particularly sensitive to that. But I've been wanting to buy this market for a while. Just assumed when it got down to here that it was going to head a little bit lower as well. So I may have missed the opportunity. Anyway, never mind. It's the same idea. So you can save that up and do the same work on others. So we can have a look at the FTSE even, but FTSE's a tricky one sometimes. Major swings on the FTSE. 1, 2, 3. Current fork is here. Nice touch in the A line all the way through. Retracement to the median line is still certainly on, because we've had a tag of the upper median line parallel here. And for those wanting to short this market, that would have been the ideal spot, because the idea of this high here was to take out that high there, and it didn't. It failed. So you kind of got inside this little pocket dumped, and you'd imagine that prices certainly got some room to move to the downside. But we'll see. $60-minute, pretty much the same idea as before. Put your minor swings in. It's a little bit odd at the moment in terms of we had a higher high here, taking out this high there, but then immediately took out that low. So it's kind of just as quickly as it started forming a new trend, it's broken it. So it's a little bit odd at the moment. Forms what looks to be a high there, but it's not confirmed yet. And it only gets confirmed once this low gets taken out. So we'll remove that. That's the current fork that's in play at the moment. We had a little press line here, which has been washed. Price has broken it, taken out any stop losses that were underneath. And we got a reaction bounce this morning as well, which is interesting. If we were going to be selling this market, could be interesting to sell from a touch of the median line. And if we wanted to buy the market, but not at current levels, then it'd be interesting to look for a test of the lower median line parallel. Stop underneath some structure, test of that, come up to the median line, about 3 to 1. All right, so that's kind of gives an idea of how I use the fork work, and I do the same on all of the, well, every chart that I look at, which is all of these. I sort of look at the daily charts, look at the 60 mins, look at the 4 minutes, and just draw out the major swings, the minor swings, and the bar level price action. Look at sort of the wide range bars, the gaps, look for zigzags, look for balance points, look for pockets, look for areas of support and resistance that have previously acted as swap zones. All of these things are interesting to mark out on the chart, because when price comes back to those areas, you can adjust your targets and so on. So that kind of gives an idea of how we work and what we do here. I hope that's helped out a little bit. I haven't had a chance to go through Forex charts, which is fine. We'll have to do that another time. The story for yesterday has been posted, or will be posted in the article. That'll be out a little bit later on this morning once I've finished off going through and uploading these videos. And yeah, hope you managed to keep most of your powder dry today. It's a little bit unusual in terms of what the market is doing. But so long as we keep making lower highs, then You know, the bears remain in control at the moment, just simply because we managed to pierce to a new low this morning. So there you have it. Hope that was useful, guys. Hope you have a great trading day. And we're going to shut this meeting down in just a moment, and I'll upload the video a bit later on as well. Thank you for joining us. If you're new, if you want to send us a message on Telegram, then please do. My username is @DaxTrader, and I'll put the details in the description for the video. Take care, guys. Catch up with you later. No problem. You're welcome, guys. Take care.